Hey friend, welcome to Dreaming in Color. We are so glad you've chosen to invest in your future, in your dreams, in your desires, and your goals. So in this training, we're going to help you go from wherever you are today in your imagination or your dream or your goal. We want to help you move from where you are to goal achievement. Most people don't achieve their goals in life. It's a sad reality. It's unfortunate that many people have dreams or they had dreams. They have a goal or they've had a goal. But most people have New Year's resolutions that go unmet. They have dreams that they desire to achieve that they never achieve. And it's sad that most people just get caught up in life, just going through the motion and stop dreaming. So what we have is we have a process that we help coach people through that helps them move from the goal to even dreaming a dream, to having a dream, to move strategically from that dream to the achievement and the fulfillment of their dreams in life. So we're glad you're here. Hey friends, welcome to Dreaming in Color. What's your dream? Everybody's got one, right? Remember Happy Man in Pretty Woman walking down the street? Welcome to Hollywood. What's your dream? Everybody's got one. Here's what I believe. I believe that you have a dream inside of you. You have a desire, a want to, a have to. You've got something stirring inside of you, and that's probably why you're here. You have a dream, and you're wanting to fulfill that dream. Unfortunately, in life, most people's dreams go unmet. They go unfulfilled. Remember when you were back in junior high or grade school, or remember when you were dreaming and daydreaming and you were going to be that Grand Slam home run baseball star, right? You saw it, you could picture it, it was a beautiful day, it was springtime, the grass had just been cut and you could smell it, and all of a sudden you began to drift away into dreamland. And you could see it, you could taste it, you could smell it, you were there, and you had a dream, and you were a little boy, and you were going to be an all-star baseball player, or you were going to be an astronaut, or you were going to be a fireman, or you were going to be a superhero. You had a dream. We all have dreams. We've daydreamed. Matter of fact, it's been said that most people daydream. Interestingly enough, most people daydream, but they never want to share their daydream. It's been said that they would rather share an embarrassing moment in life than their daydreams. I find that very interesting. Why do we stop dreaming? What happens? There comes a point in our life where somebody's probably told you, get back to reality. Grow up. Stop your daydreaming. Go get a job. You could never do that. Why are you daydreaming? And pretty soon, reality begins to steal and rob from us our dreams, our goals, our desires. And pretty soon we find ourselves in life, we've got dreams, but they're just kind of shoved down, hidden away, and we stop dreaming. Well, I don't believe that's how it has to be. I believe you can achieve your dreams. Every great thing started with a dream. Everything great that we have. Think about the phone you carry in your pocket and what it can do. If I told you 30 years ago, I'm going to create a device, and I have this dream that man, we could be talking on with images, and I could see you, and you're all over the world, and there would be a whole bunch of us all at the same time talking without wires on a little device that I could carry in my pocket. You would have called me nuts. You would have said you're insane. That's impossible. It's not possible to speak to other people without wires. Everything great started in the imagination. It started with a dream. It started with a what if. It started with a possibility, a could it be. It started with something stirring within somebody that thought, what if? Think about the light bulb. We have a light bulb, and it took 10,000 failures for us to get it. But that light bulb inventor had a dream. What if we didn't have to burn candles anymore? What if? And that dream came alive. And then it moved to the achievement. There are so many dreams that are stopped and just staying on the table. Stopped and staying in the car as you're driving down the road. How many of you done that? I've done that so many times, driving down the road, and I'm just lost in my imagination. Daydreaming. What if? Could it be? There are so many dreams, so many possibilities, so many things that have not been created, so many things that have not been done because we stopped dreaming. We stopped believing. We stopped believing that it was possible. We want to help you make the impossible possible. So we have a strategy that we're going to walk through that helps you move strategically from dreaming the dream to achieving the dream. Because I believe every dream's possible. I believe every dream can be fulfilled. Most people don't fulfill their dreams because they don't have a plan to. They don't have a strategy to. They have an idea, they have a want to, they have a wish, but they've never worked through a strategy, a process of moving strategically from dreaming to implementation to fulfillment to sitting on the beach in Hawaii or whatever. They've never taken that dream and pulled it out of them and started to move it strategically forward. So what we want to do is we want to help you move your dream strategically through a process to fulfilling that dream. So we have a model that we're going to give you. It'll be a download there for you that you can walk through. It's just a model. And you'll see it on the screen there. I'm going to just kind of write some stuff on the flip chart here, but you'll see it on the model, and it should make a lot of sense when we go through it in the model. But it's a strategy. It's a process. And your strategy starts with what's your what? What's your what? In order for you to fulfill your dream, in order for you to achieve your dream, you have to start with what that dream is. You have to start dreaming. You have to dig in there and go, well, what is it that I want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you really, really want? We all have something in there that we wish would just kind of come out and that we could have. So the process has to start with what's your what. In this process, we want to encourage you to just dream again. Just think again. Just what is it that you can't do that you wish you could do? What is it that you've always wanted to be, always wanted to do? What's your what? We want to encourage you to just really start to think, and in this process, write down your thoughts. Dream again. Don't let the impossible stop you. What's your what? Once you have a what, then you can move to its fulfillment. If you don't have a what, if you don't start with your what you got? Nothing. You can't fulfill it. There's nothing there. And now the second part of that what is your what has to move to the details. So we want to encourage you to color your dream. All right? I'm going to give you some tips as we go, and I'm going to flip the flip chart kind of back and forth a little bit here. But you start by dreaming the dream. You start by dreaming the dream. Just kind of live in it. Just kind of get back to your childhood and your imagination. But then we want to invite you to do what we call color the dream. We want to invite you to color the dream. So I'm going to use a different color because, that's what we're doing here. We're going to color the dream. A lot of people dream in black and white, static, no vivid detail or color. So we want you to take a minute and think about an area of your life that you have a dream. It could be, let's say, your health. You want a big life. You want a great life, and your health is kind of not where you want it to be. It might be your marriage or a relationship. What are the areas of your life? Start there. What are the areas of your life? And pick an area. Don't try to change your whole life at once, but just kind of pick an area that you would like to move forward in the next, say 3 to 6 months. So maybe in your life you have a dream, a career, a financial dream. Maybe it's a relational dream. Maybe it's a health dream. Maybe it has to do with a bucket list. And you dream of going somewhere or doing something. And that's this want to out there. And what's your dream? Once you have that dream, we want to invite you to color that dream. And when we say color that dream, we're starting to talk about the adjectives and the descriptions and the vivid detail in your dream. Here's what's been proven. The more detail you have in your dream, the more clear you are in your dream, the more descriptive you are in your dream, the more likelihood you'll have of fulfilling that dream. Because you know what it is and you can see what it looks like. And so what are the adjectives? Dream it out. Flesh out that dream. So let's just say for a minute that your dream is you want better health. And so a lot of people, like, my dream is if I could just be more healthy. Well, that's just kind of this vague, I want to be healthy. What's that mean? What's that look like? So when we're talking about coloring your dream, we're talking about being specific. So I want to lose 30 pounds in the next 3 months. And I want to wear those blue jeans that have been in my closet for all these years that have been too tight, but they still have the brand new tag on them. But they've been in my closet and I've never been able to wear them. And I would love to wear those blue jeans. I see myself wearing those blue jeans. I see myself with energy to burn. Man, I've got more energy today. And I see myself, you kind of catch what I'm doing here? I'm thinking from my future self. I'm looking, a dream is something you see. It's something that's happened out here. It's when it's fulfilled, what's it look like? And so you're kind of looking back from that perspective, or you're looking at your life from that perspective. And man, I've got energy to burn. I'm more productive than I've ever been. I'm fit. I'm strong. I see myself running, and I'm running 3 miles a day, 3 days a week. And I've got this just description. I see myself in my dream house. It's on a lake. It's my lake. I see myself in my dream house, and I'm going out back onto my patio with my round table, and I've got my oatmeal, and it's got blueberries and walnuts in it, and I've got a steaming hot cup of coffee, and it's morning, and I've got my planner, and I'm enjoying a beautiful morning in my dream house on my lake at my table with my oatmeal and my coffee, and there's a meandering path that goes down to the lake, and there's a dock that goes out in the lake, and Robin and I have kayaks. We love to kayak. There's 2 purple kayaks on our lake, and they're docked on my dock, on my lake, and I can see them, and they're purple. There's a mist coming off my lake, and I'm going to have my breakfast, and then Robin and I are going to go out and we're going to spend some time in our kayaks on our lake at my dream house. And I see it, and it's, man, I'm there. I can picture it. I can feel it. I can taste it. I can smell it. Man, this is where I want to be. This is my dream. And this is, I got to go back to work. Yeah, that's how we live. We have that want to out there, and then we just kind of shove it away because we just don't believe that it's possible. But what if? What would happen if all of a sudden you started to dream like that and you started to color in that dream? And what's your what? What's it look like? What's it feel like? What's it taste like? You want to achieve that dream? You got to start to dream in color. You got to start fleshing it out and being specific. And what do you really, really want? What's your dream? What's your what? So we want to encourage you, as we go through this process today, as you take this training, we want to encourage you to maybe even just pause the video. Take a few minutes and pick an area of your life and say, in the next 6 months of my life, I really want to move forward in this area. And then start to flesh that dream out. There's dreams and goals at all levels. So this whole strategy works, whether it's a New Year's resolution or whether it's your life dream, whether it's your dream house, career, finances, goals. This strategy works for any of that. But the best way to see it work is to start small. Put a goal through the strategy. Pick an area where you can just get traction and see your dreams become fulfilled. And man, I did that and I did that. Now I'm going for this. And pretty soon, your dreams. You're living. I love to say, how are you doing it? Man, I'm living the dream. I'm living the dream. I'm living into my dream right now. I'm living the dream. My dreams are coming to reality. I'm living my dreams. Doesn't mean it's always easy. There's going to be challenges, and we'll get to that here in a little while. Why, what stopped you from fulfilling your dreams in this process? But step one, what's your what? Step one, what's your what? Step two, once you know what's your what, you've got to ask yourself, what's your why? What's your why? And I don't know if you've heard this yet, but the what's your why statement is a very popular statement right now in dream and goal achievement. What's your why? Why do you want that? Why do you really want that dream? Why do you want your what? What is it that drives you to want that? And here's why your why is so important. It's going to get tough. Every dream has obstacles. Every dream has challenges. If it didn't, you would already be there. You would have already had it. If there was no struggle, if there was no challenge, if you weren't contending for something, you would already have it. Every dream has challenges. Every dream has struggles. So when you know your why, it's a hurdle jumper. It's a barrier breaker. It's an obstacle mover. Your why is that thing that says, I got to do this. It's a I don't just want to, I have to. Why do you have to? Because if I don't, what's your why? Now here's the interesting thing. Here's what they've discovered scientifically. When they started really working with people on and coaching people on their why and its attachment to a goal and a dream, here's what we found. A lot of people talk about having a why, but they tend to stay at the surface. So it was discovered that at level 7, somewhere around that 6, 7, 8 range, is kind of in those deeper times that you ask the question. At level 7, you tend to hit an emotional reason. And when you hit the emotion, it's like, I can't not do this. And that's when it all of a sudden turned a corner for people in achieving their dreams and goals, is when their why was an emotional attachment to the have to. I have to do this. And it wasn't, I want $1 million. Why do you want $1 million? I could buy cool stuff. It would be fun to have $1 million. It'd be fun to buy cool stuff, right? I want $1 million. Why? Well, because I would be somebody in my industry and I just, I have this need for significance. And these are still surface level whys. And the more you stay at the surface, it's not going to get you through the barrier. It's not going to get you through the hurdle, because it's not something you want bad enough that's going to move you through. But when you hit the emotion, that dream locks in, that dream registers deep, and it's, I got to do this. Man, when I was a kid growing up and I didn't have much and people always helped me out, and I see my kids and I don't want them to ever feel like that. I don't want them to ever be in that position. I want to leave a legacy, and now all of a sudden you're starting to dig deeper. Here's the interesting thing that we've found. When you ask, it's fascinating about it's 3 letters, right? W-H-Y. 3 letters. What's your W-H-Y? It's a little word. And you ask yourself, okay, what's my why? Why do I want to lose 30 pounds? Why? And you start asking yourself, and you'll stay at the surface a little bit. And then you just keep asking yourself, why? And you go a little deeper. Why? And you go a little deeper. Interesting fact. When people do this exercise alone, they very rarely go deep enough. Something in our brain triggers, and we say, why? And then our brain looking for a reason out, and we don't like to go emotional. We don't want to go deep, and so it's a struggle. But in coaching, what we've found is I can ask you the same 3 letters, And you can say, well, my reason is because I want to buy cool things. And I'll say, why? And they'll say, well, because, man, if I would be somebody in my industry, and I've always wanted to be somebody in my industry, I'll say, why? And all of a sudden, when it's somebody else asking the question, same word, same question, what's your why? When it's somebody else asking the question, we tend to go deeper. I'm not sure why, but it's just one of those things that we found interesting in coaching, that sometimes we need somebody else helping us dig deep. You want to fulfill your dreams? Dig deep. You want to fulfill that desire? Dig deep. Now, like I said a minute ago, all of your dreams and goals, there's a range of difficulty in here. We're talking, you want to go lose 5 pounds and it's your goal to lose 5 pounds. There may be some struggle, but it's not going to be the same struggle as, you know what, I'm bankrupt and I want to make $1 million next year. There's a different level in that, and your why will be different in that, and the level of depth needed to get over the hurdles and the barriers will be different. But dig deep. Go deeper. What's your why? So step 1 is you have to dream the dream. Step 2 is you have to know why you want it. What is it you want? What do you want? Why do you want it? What's your what? What's your why? Step 3 to fulfilling your dreams. Step 3 is absolutely critical. Absolutely critical. Who's your who? Who's your who? Once you know what your what is, and once you know why you want it, you have to start asking yourself, who's going to help me get it? Who's going to help me get it? I want you to think about this for a minute. In our life, very rarely do we get anywhere alone, anywhere great alone. We like to think I'm a self-made man and I got this and I can do this and I don't need nobody and my stuff's nobody else's business and I'm going to do this. And yet, all along the journey, if you look at your life, there were people involved somewhere. Very few of us do life alone, truly alone. And the reality is, we get there faster when we have somebody helping us. You could possibly get there and you could probably figure it out, but you'll get there faster with people who've already been down your path. I'm just going to stay on the health thing for a minute. You want to lose 30 pounds? Find somebody who's lost 30 pounds, done a great job at it, and say, what'd you do? Oh, hey, that worked for you. That probably worked for me. It's about being smart in moving from where you are to where you want to be and allowing people to journey with you. Who's your who? Have you ever heard the statement that you're the sum total of the top 5 people you hang around? People you hang around the most? The people you hang out with that you're kind of like, you end up looking like them. What's their bank account look like? What's their attitude look like? What's their life look like? If that's who you're always hanging around, we tend to look like, act like, and behave like the people we hang out with the most. This is very important to think about in your goals. Who's your top 5? Are you hanging out with people who are going where you want to go and being what you want to be? It's been said it's hard to fly with the eagles when you're hanging out with the turkeys. It's hard to fly and soar with the eagles when you're hanging out with the turkeys. Oh, but they're my friends. I understand that. Sometimes your friends can be your enemies to your goal, to your dreams, to your wants and desires and where you want to head in life. They're negative, they're naysayers, they're always pulling you down to their level. I want to be around people who want to pull me up to their level. I want to run with those who are achieving their dreams and goals because that's where I want to be. Who's your who? Now, when we talk about this on 2 levels. for dream and goal achievement. For dream and goal achievement, we talk about two levels of who. The first level is a personal, relational level. These are the people that I can call on the phone. They're the people who, they've got my number, I've got their number. They're my friends, my family. They're people who I've intentionally put in my life to help me get where I want to go, and they're known. I know them, they know me. This is Terry and Lene. They're our health coach, and they're guiding us. I know them. I can pick up the phone and I can call Terry and say, Terry, dude, I'm struggling with this. Help me get over this hurdle. And Terry's like, boom, got your back, buddy. These are people like friends of mine who I just know are praying for me and encouraging me, and they believe in my dream. These are people who I'm looking at in life that I can call and say, hey man, can we have a cup of coffee? I just need some time with you, man. I need to be around your kind of people. But these are the personal, relational people. Who's your top 5? I would encourage you to set a goal, to level up in your top 5. Who are the top 5 people you're hanging around with? I want to encourage you to, even right now, write down some names of people who you need to spend some time around. Some names of some people who are going to help you achieve your dreams and goals. The other thing that's important when you're selecting people is it's in context of your dream and your goal. I have some great friends, I have great people in my life, but I'm very strategic about who I put in my life based on the goal I want to achieve. If you want an extraordinary marriage, if you want an extraordinary relationship, Aunt Susie, who's been divorced 3 times, is probably not the person you strategically put on your list to give you marriage advice. Terry and Lene are incredible health coaches. We're becoming certified as health coaches. They're our health coach. They're in line with my goal. They are in line with my dream. They line up with Robin and I's vision and dream for our health and our business and our health coaching. Man, they are on my list for who I'm putting on, because it's in the context of my dream, my goal, my vision, what I want. Who's your who? Now, I would also encourage you to have not only a personal level, but an impersonal level. An impersonal level, these are people who they don't know me, I know of them. So these are people like podcasters and authors and people who are in the industry that's connected to the goal I have or the dream I have. These are people who are lined up with my vision and my dream, who can help me get there, and I'm going to fill my life with them. So in our coaching practice, we use a model that actually comes at the end of this, but we use a model that was developed by Brooke Castillo, a life coach. Brooke Castillo made $27 million last year using this model. Her mission in life is not to make a ton of money for the ton of money. She said, I don't need $27 million. So what's your mission? Why are you going for $27 million? She said, my mission is to help show people what's possible with the model. Her goal in life is to show people what's possible. I'm using that model. That's our model in a lot of our coaching that we do. In fact, it's most of our mindset coaching comes out of that model. So it becomes very important that when I'm selecting my who am I listening to? Well, she developed that model. She's succeeding with that model. She's crushing life with that model. It makes sense that I start listening to Brooke Castillo when it comes to her thought model. It's a strategic level of putting people in your life on purpose that line up with your goals. So think about what we've done so far. What's your what? What's your why? and who's your who. If you just did that right there, you are in a totally different class of people. You have moved your dream from your imagination to actually a strategic process. Now you've got people speaking into your life. So take just a minute with whatever that area is in your life that you're wanting to move forward. Ask yourself, write down what's your what. Write it down. What's your what? What's your why? Just start to think, why do I want this? And then list off a few people in the context of that dream who you need to connect with, who you need to put in your life. You may need to start searching for a coach in that context. Because here's what we know. You will get there faster if you work with somebody who can help you strategically get out of your head and move step by step through that process. Mentors, coaches, man, how bad do you want your dream? How bad do you want your goal? What's your why? Is it big enough to say, I need somebody to help me get there? And we want to encourage you, start to identify people who can help you get there. And while you're at it, start to identify people who's going to keep you from getting there. Who's the who in your life that I'm not talking about telling mama you can never talk to mama again. but maybe you need to be strategic in how you talk to mama. And sometimes we need to say, time out. This is not helping me get where I want to go. Who's your who? What's your what? What's your why? Who's your who? The fourth step is, what's your how? What's your how? The who helps you with the how. But if you never have a strategy, if you never have a plan, you'll get stuck dreaming. I want it. Why can I never get forward? Because you don't have a how. You don't have a plan. You don't have a strategy to move strategically through from point A to point Z. There's a roadmap. If I want to get from here to there, I have to have a plan. I have to have a how. If I want to go from here to Phoenix, Arizona, I get on this road, I drive down to I-40, I turn right, I head all the way from I-40 from here to Flagstaff. There's different routes that could get me there. I could cut off here at Winslow, I could cut off over here, I'm going to go to Flagstaff. My plan is I'm going to go from here, I'm going to end up at Flagstaff, I'm going to turn left, I'm going to get on the freeway, and I'm going to head south, and I'm going to end up in Phoenix. Why? Because I know the map, I know the route, I know the plan. What's your what? What's your why? Who's your who? And what's your how? How are you going to do this? You want to lose 30 pounds? How are you going to do it? What's your strategy? What's your plan? You want to have an extraordinary marriage? You want to have an extraordinary relationship? What's your strategy? What's your plan? I have an extraordinary relationship with my wife, Robin. We have an extraordinary relationship. We do relationship coaching. And here's what I found. Most people have goals and dreams and strategies even in business, in health. They have a goal in their health. I want to lose 30 pounds and I want to, I don't know why it's always 30 pounds, but that's just what keeps going through my head. I have a goal. I want to lose 30 pounds. In their health, they have a picture of what they want to look like. They walk by the mirror and they go, man, I don't want this anymore. So, what am I going to do about it? And they go on a diet, or they get a plan, or they have a nutrition coach and a health coach, and they take their health seriously. And why is it in our relationships we don't dream about extraordinary? Why is it in our relationships that we don't develop down to have a strategy? Most people never invest in their marriage. They invest in their wedding. Interestingly enough, approximately $32,000 is the average wedding today. Invest $32,000 in an event, and then they never spend anything. They never hire a coach. They never go to seminars. They never read books. Once in a while a book, hey, I'll have $5 here, a couple bucks there. You can get ours for a couple bucks on Kindle, or $8 in paperback. But people don't invest in their marriage. They invest in a day. And they think that their marriage is just going to happen. Oh, we're in love. It's a relationship, and relationships just happen, right? That's not why. Think about the divorce rate. Relationships don't just work. If they just worked, we wouldn't be at 50% of first marriages ending in divorce. If all you had to do is get married and fall in love and get married, then why are 60 to 70% of second marriages ending in divorce? And if by that time you should think you would have it figured out, and yet third marriages, as much as 80% of third marriages end in divorce. When are we going to stop and start investing in the marriage and not just the wedding? Sorry about my rant, but it's a how. You have to have a strategy. You want an extraordinary marriage, you can have an extraordinary marriage. And in fact, one person in the relationship can change the entire course of the marriage. But not without a how. It's not going to happen. The definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing we've always done and expect different results, right? So we've got to change the thing we've always done. You want that dream, you want that goal, you want that vision, you want that relationship, you want that body, you want that money, you want whatever it is you want, it's got to move to a how. So we want to encourage you. What's your what? What's your why? Who's your who? Then develop a how. And every time, the who in your life, who are you reading, who are you listening to, who is coaching you, who's involved, is going to help you structure a how. Now, once you have your what, once you have your why, once you have your who, and once you have your next step in your how, then we can ask the question, what's stopping you? What's stopping you? What's keeping you from that dream? What's stopping? 2 P's, right? No. 2 P's. What's stopping you? Before we go here, I want to ask you just to maybe pause your video for a second. Pause your video for a second and stay right here on what's your how. In light of the what that you wrote down, what's your next step? How's all about strategy, and it's all about taking next steps. What's your next step? What's one thing, just one thing that you can do? Now, maybe your next step is, I got to start dreaming. Maybe your next step is, you know what, I've got a dream, but I need to color my dream. Maybe your next step is, I got to ask myself why, and I got to dig deep. Maybe my next step is, I need to invite a friend or a coach or somebody into my life to really help me flesh out my dream. Maybe your next step is to have some conversations with some friends who you know will help you move forward, not take you backward. What's your next step? I want to invite you to just pause your video for a second and ask yourself, what's my next step? Just one. What's the next thing I'm going to take action on? And then make a commitment to take the action, that you're going to do something. Growth begins with awareness, but it's realized in action. Knowledge does not transform. Knowledge gives you the tools. Action is what's going to get you to your dream. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you never act on that knowledge, if you never take a next step, if you never move forward, if you never go, I'm going to call somebody, I'm going to hire a coach, I'm going to talk to my best friend, I'm going to have a plan, I'm going to ask the question, I'm going to write down my dream. If you never take the next step and you never act upon it, all you have is knowledge, and knowledge does not transform. Knowledge does not accomplish your dreams. It may give you some tools and some information, but action is when you move from idea to achievement. What's your next step? Now, the next question is then, with all of this, what's stopping you? What's stopping you? 90% of our coaching tends to be mindset coaching. These are the dream killers. These are the things that are attacking your dream. These are the things in your life. These might be the things that stop you, might be limiting beliefs, things and narratives that you've told yourself. I'm too old, I could never start a business. Beliefs you have about yourself. I've never been able to lose weight and keep it off. I can't do this because. This could be what's stopping you, might be what I talked about a little while ago. Maybe some people in your life that you just need to have some conversations with, or maybe even limit your exposure to. It could be people. It could be bad habits. What's stopping you? It could be habits. It could be things that you've just, patterns that you've got in your life that you just do all the time and always done. And they're bad habits, and they're killing your dream. They're keeping you from your goals. They're hindering you from your achieving that thing that is in you that you want so badly. What's stopping you? So what we have is we have a process. It's a whole nother model that we use. Like I say, most of our coaching happens right here around what's stopping people. Because if you can get all of this, and we can help you with a how, then all we have to do is overcome those things that are keeping you from living out your how. Because if you do this, you will have this. If you do the how, if you know the what, the why, and you've got the right people in your life, and you do the how, you'll have your dream. You know, the only difference between you and somebody who has what you want is what they know and what they do. It's the only difference. The only difference between you and somebody who has what you want is what they know and what they do. If we know that the mass majority of all high achievers, you know, however you define success, you know, they've got the money, they've a high achiever. If we know that they hardly watch any television and they read on average of 20 to 30 books a year, and you want what they want or what they've got, but you're not willing to do what they do, then you'll very rarely experience what they experience. They have that because they have certain practices and habits and things that they do. So we want to help you overcome those limiting beliefs, those things that get in your way, that stop you from living your dreams, that stop you from living your dreams. So let's just recap. What's your what? Do you know what it is? What's your why? Do you know why you want it? Who's your who? Have you thought strategically about who you're journeying with? What's your how? What's your next step? You don't have to have all the how figured out. Just what's your next right step? What's the next thing you should do? And then what's stopping you? And how are you going to overcome the dream killers that are bombarding your life and your dream? Before we go, I want to give you keep on these tips right here, 6 practical tips. These are things you can do right now. You want some next steps? Man, these are some easy next steps. And I say easy They're simple. They're not hard to do. In fact, on all of these right here, your average junior higher could do these. Your average junior high boy could do these. I mean, it's just they're not hard to do. They're simple. But that doesn't mean they're easy. If they were, most people would do it. Dream the dream, right? Dream the dream. Color the dream. You want to be 42% more likely to achieve your dream? Do this next step. It's been proven that people who write the dream down are 42% more likely to achieve their dream. One simple act, write the dream down. But write it down in vivid color. Write it down with detail. Move it from the left brain to the right brain. Move it from the imagination to the, did I get those right? The left brain, right brain. Move it from one side of your head to the other side of your head. Get it from the imagination to the thought process that really locks it in. 42% more likely if you write down your dream. Here's what fascinates me, and I'm so guilty of this. I'm guilty. Hi, my name's Daryl, and I'm guilty. I have known that statistic for a long time. I've known it. I've heard it. I even believe it. I think I believe it. If I really believed it, why haven't I written it down? Why has it taken me so long in my life? I'm 55 years old. Why has it taken me so long in my life to get to the place of actually doing what works? Why haven't you written down your dreams? Why haven't you written down your goals? Do you have it dreamt? Do you have it in color? And have you written it down in vivid color? You want to be 42% more likely to achieve your dream? Right there. Write it down. Now, once you've dreamt the dream, once you've colored the dream, you write the dream, then you read, I'm just going to stay with the same color. Read the dream. Then you read the dream. Think about this for a minute. If you just every day took your dream, wrote it out in a concise statement, and you had it clearly defined, and every morning you read your dream, you kept that dream alive. Most dreams are not fulfilled because they never kept alive. They were never, it was like, I want it, and then it's like hidden, and we just go through life. And it's like, oh yeah, that dream that I had when I was, oh yeah, and then we go through life, and we get so caught up in life that we forget our dreams. When you keep the dream alive and you're living in that dream, and it's like, man, and you get excited about that dream, and you believe that dream. You believe that dream is possible. Remember the things that kill dreams? One of the things that kills our dreams is our belief. Our belief that I could actually do that. It kills our dream. When you believe that it's possible and you live in it and you read it all the time, you read it every day, and you just read your dream every day, read your dream every day, you're going to be well on your way to achieving that dream. So you dream the dream, color the dream, write the dream, read the dream. And here's where I think it gets really interesting. Proclaim the dream. Proclaim the dream. Put it out there. Before you just shout it out to the world, again, be careful who you put it out to, but put it out there. I want to tell you a story. February 29th of this year, my wife achieved one of the most incredible dreams that she had been dreaming. She had dreamt for a long time, but it was kind of like hidden. It was kind of always this want to, I wish I could kind of thing. Month prior to February 29th, we were hiking the Pinyon Trail in the Sandia foothills. And as we were hiking, my wife said, you know, I've always wanted to be a trail runner. Now, to that point, my wife wasn't even a runner, let alone a trail runner. Flat ground wasn't even, something she was doing, let alone running uphill on a bumpy, rough trail. But she said, I've always wanted, remember that dream that's down in there? I've always wanted to be a trail runner. I said, then set a goal. Why not? Why can't you be a trail runner? Of course you could be a trail runner. Is it possible that you could be a trail runner? Absolutely you could be a trail runner. So why don't you set a goal? And so as we were hiking, she said, I want to run 1 mile of this trail. So her goal was 1 mile of the Pinyon Trail in the Sandia foothills. And that day, as we were hiking up that trail, that dream started to come as a possibility. Maybe I could do this. Maybe I could actually be a trail runner. Maybe I could run this trail for 1 mile. I said, so put it out there. And so as we got up the way, she says, let's go live on Facebook. I'm like, let's go live on Facebook. Yeah, let's do that. And so she put it out for the world. And in a live broadcast on Facebook, she proclaimed her dream that she was going to run consistently without stopping 1 mile of the Pinyon Trail uphill on February 29th. You see the details? See the specific? She didn't just say, one day I'm going to run the Pinyon Trail for 1 mile. She said, no, on February 29th, which was 1 month, she's never run, never trained, hadn't done anything. And in 1 month, she's planning on running a consistent mile uphill on the Pinyon Trail, and she told the world. And then what? It's like, did I just really do that? Did I just put that out? Man, now I got to do this. And she proclaimed the dream. And she had encouragers, and she had supporters, and she had people that's going, you rock, you're so inspiring. I got your back. I'm there for you. I'm following you. And she had inspirers and encouragers, and she was inspiring and encouraging to others to take their health seriously and to take action in their life. And the next weekend, when she had started running in the gym and she had started training for it, the next Saturday was our first attempt to see what she could do on that trail. It was her first trail run ever. And she got on the trail, and we set the time, and we had already marked out the mile, and she was just going to run for a little bit until she couldn't run and kind of get a feel. Like I said, she'd been training for 1 week. She went 1/10 of a mile. 1/10 of a mile, and said, what have I done? And I put this out for the world. Can I really do this? And all of a sudden the doubt started to creep in, and the things that went through her mind, and the limiting beliefs, and the I'm not sure I can do this. And I came alongside her, and we made it up the trail. We did not run more than about 1/10 of a mile. And she would run a little bit, and she knew that she needed to start training, and she was working on training, and so she would run, walk, walk. But never very much more than 1/10 of a mile at any given time. But she knew that she had proclaimed her dream. And she had supporters, she had encouragers, she had followers who were there journeying with her. And she was just real with them and said, man, this is a struggle. And we would do a Facebook Live when we got up there. And man, it was hard. And she was just genuine and real and authentic. And on February 29th, and I'm even teary on this. On February 29th, she ran for 1 consistent mile uphill on the Pinyon Trail and never stopped. She achieved her dream. She's a trail runner. It did something. It's still written on her mirror in our bathroom. It says, I did it! Exclamation points. She did it. She accomplished that dream, that desire. You know what her goal is this month? She's going to run 60 miles this month. She's running 3 miles one day, 1 mile the next, and a long run on Saturday. Every day. She's a runner. She's never been a runner. She has transformed her life. And part of that happened, and she attributes it to proclaiming the dream. Why don't we proclaim the dream? What are we afraid? Fear of failure. What do they think of me? Man, if I don't do this, I'll let them down. And so I'm never going to put it out. That's because you don't believe you can. If you believed you could, why not tell somebody? If you believed it was possible, but you doubt yourself and you don't want to let somebody down, what if you stepped into it and said, I'm going to live my dream and I want you to know? Kind of reminds me of Elf. Remember the movie Elf? He goes, I'm in love, and I don't care who knows. I don't care who knows. It's my dream. I'll put it out there. Proclaim the dream. Dream the dream, color the dream, write the dream, read the dream, proclaim the dream, and then begin now to live into the dream from the perspective of your future self. Think about this for a minute. Live into the dream. There are so many things you can do right now that are part of your dream. When you think about your future self, when you think about that person down there and who that person is and what they look like and how they act and what they're doing and all the characteristics of your future self when you've achieved your dream, and you start to write that down, and in your dream, because you've been descriptive, you're thinking, man, I have a dream, and Robin and I have a dream of a coaching practice and an online conferences and seminars and courses and a business that really helps people transform their life. And in our dream, it's $100,000 in the next 12 months and $1 million in the next 5 years. And that's a big dream, and that's a scary dream for me to even proclaim. Listen, I just proclaimed my dream. In that, what do I see? What do I see when I think of being that person down there? I can see what I'm wearing. I can see how I'm dressed, and I'm bold, and I'm confident, and I'm secure, and I see myself. And when I see myself, I imagine what I'm doing, and I'm on a stage, and I'm speaking, and people are excited, and it's exciting, and people's lives are being changed, and they're getting the results, and I can feel what that feels like, and I'm so excited about that. Well, listen, folks, I can be bold now. I can be determined now. I can dress the way I want to dress then, now. Clothing may just not be quite as expensive, but I can dress like I see myself dressing then. I even wrote in my notes, my office. When I see this dream, my office is professional, and it's organized, and I can set up my office now. How much of that future self stuff can you begin to live into now? How much of that, the characteristics and the nature of who you are then, can you begin to live into now? Dream the dream, color the dream, write the dream, read the dream, proclaim the dream, live into the dream now. So folks, we want to encourage you to move your dreams from a possibility to a reality. Be strategic. Know your what. Know your why. Be very strategic on your who, and have them help you develop a how. And then build a protection around your dream so that dream killers don't stop you from achieving your dream. So glad that you've taken this time to spend it investing in your future. I want to encourage you to do more than just watch a video. Do the exercises. Take the time to apply it to your life and live your dream.